Hey everyone, and I welcome you all to another video. Now in this video we are going to learn about some of the basic tools that are used in color correction or color grading. Okay, so first of all we will start with we will start after opening Premiere Pro 2020 or any version that you have. We will click on the color option on this workspace. Now most of the people don't know how to do it, so let me show you. When you will open, then you will see that this is the default window that will open. So what we need to do is we need to go and click on this color option. Now I know that many of the people have disabled this workspace, so how are you going to open this? So first of all, go to Windows and then just see that this workspace option is enabled, and then you can click on color and then you can open this lumetri color option. Now there is another way by which you can open directly this lumetric option, color option, without opening your workspace. What you need to do is just go to Window tab and then click on this lumetri color option, and then you will see that this is opened. Now what we will do is we will click on the basic correction option. So you can see that when I clicked on this basic correction, these all things are disabled. So you need to first select on this video, and then you can see that these things would be enabled. Now this is the video of a rose, as you can already see. So we need to first of all see what is a LUT. Well, in order to make you understand about what is a LUT, I'm going to do a separate video in which I will highlight you what are LUTs, and I will give you some free LUTs so that you can download it, apply it on your video footage to make it more beautiful. So we will just see an example of this. Now these LUTs are nothing but what they make the video look beautiful. Okay, so I will make you understand in next videos. Okay, so these are some of the LUTs, but we haven't selected any of these. We will click on none. Okay, now see, let's see that what if we select one. Now you can see that the color of it changes, and you can select any of these. Okay, but I will click on none because I don't want to use any LUT right now, because I want to just make you understand what these things are. Now the next option is white balance. Now what is this white balance? So this is the temperature. If you want to increase the temperature, means if you want to increase warmth in the video, then this you can just drag it to the right, and if you want to increase the coldness in the video, then you can click on the left option. Okay, now what if you think that okay, I want to change it to the default value, then just double click here so that you can see that the value is over 0. Now the next is tint. You can add tint by dragging it to the green option, so you can see that the color of the video footage changes, or you can add it to the magenta option. Now just select the default, that is the 0. Okay, now the next we will come is to the tone. Now what is the tone? So here you can increase the exposure. Now what will happen if you increase the exposure or decrease the exposure? Now as you can see that the video becomes dim when we decrease the exposure. So it always depends on the kind of video that you want to edit. For example, when I was editing a music kind of video and I wanted to make the video change from day to night, so what I did was I just selected the exposure to minus degree. I dragged the exposure to left side so that this thing, you can see that this becomes dark. So when a person will see this footage, then he will think that this video was recorded at the night time, but the reality was we just edited it. Now if you want to select on the default, then just double click it as I already mentioned, and then you can select the contrast. Now what will happen if you increase the contrast? Now if you increase the contrast, then it gives a more darker look. Okay, so if I decrease it, then it looks like that this video doesn't look that good as after increasing the contrast. Okay, so then we will just put it to its default value, and now we will see the highlights option. Now what is this highlights option? Let me show you. So when I increase this or when I decrease this, so when I decrease this becomes dark, but there is a difference between decreasing the exposure and decreasing the highlights. You might think that exposure and highlights both are the same thing. That means when you click the exposure, when you drag to the exposure to the left side, then you can see that the whole video is dark, but here only the highlights are dark. You can see these are the highlights, the things that were extra bright, these things are dark only. Okay, so let me drag it to the default value. Okay, now shadows. So you can see that these are the shadows. The shadows will, if you want to dim the shadows, then you can just select it to the left option. If you want to increase the shadows, you can select it to the right option. I will select the default value. Now let me tell you, I am telling you the functions of all these things, but the only thing is that you need to apply your own creativity in order to edit a video. Don't worry, I will show you. I will use all these options and I will edit a video in front of you. I will edit this same video and I will show you a very beautiful video that we created by editing this same footage, and we created it a very beautiful video. Okay, so I will show you. And then the whites option. Now what is this whites option? Now when you select it, you can see that the whites and the highlights option are the nearly the same. Like you can see highlights, when we decrease it, it looks something like this. Okay, let me set it to its original value. Let me set this also. And now when we click this white, then these two things look same, but they are not same. If you will see, let me show you something. Okay, so if you will see the area around this flower, when I decrease this, then you can see that these area that were over, means that were over brightened, now were dimmed. So let me, and here let me do this also. You can see what happened. The area near that flower, that was dimmed by dragging this white to the left side, whereas in the highlights option, that was dimmed, means that was just darkened, but it was not darkened as much as in the white section. Now that difference is very minimal, but you can think that these highlights and whites are nearly the same. Okay, now let's discuss this last option, that is the black option. So when we increase this black option, you can see that, okay, so you might be thinking, then if we increase the black, means if we drag this black option to the right, or if we increase the blacks, then the video must be more darkened because we are increasing black. But this doesn't happen. If you drag this black to the left side, then you will see that these things that these black portions, these black portions, when the video was originally recorded, so these black portions give this video footage a great look or a original look. Like you can see, if I increase this black, then you can see that this doesn't really look like that it was shot from a very great camera. But if we dim this black, and now you can see that this gives it a more original look. Now I'm not telling you to do this full, I'm just telling you to adjust it a bit. Then you can see that this gives a much great look to the video. Now the second thing what I would like to do is, I would like to increase, I'm sorry, I would like to decrease the whites a bit, and then I would like to, okay, so increasing the shadows a bit, decreasing the highlights, contrast, increasing the contrast, and then decreasing the, sorry, let me, okay, increasing the exposure. Now this is what we did in the first video, that is in the basic correction. Now we will do something in the next option, that is the creative, that I am going to discuss in the next video, and we will give it a much better look. Okay, so let's meet in the next video.